Rolex turned into a symbol of luxury. If you look at who in the world wears a Rolex watch, the list goes on of the rich, the powerful, and the moneyed. A Rolex watch is an expensive item worn by respectable people in society. With a century-long history, Rolex watches are loved by many for their artistic design and heritage pride. Hans Wilsdorf from Germany lost his parents at the age of 12. After that, with the help of his relatives, he studied in Coburg and passed his education. Hans Wilsdorf, who was fluent in English, got a job as a translator at Cuno Porto, a watch export company in Switzerland. During that mission, he came in contact with great people. It was at that time that Hermann Egler took over the leadership of Embark after his father's death. Embark in French means unassembled watch spare parts. Hans Wilsdorf migrated to England in 1905 due to his friendship with influential people. He started a new company in London with his cousin Davies. The first order for him came by asking for a watch delivery. It was a time when watches were not popular. It was seen only as a fashion item that some women could wear. At the same time, men mostly used pocket watches. It was around this time that Hans began importing high-quality watches from the Hermann Egler factory in Switzerland into England and selling them through local dealers. The uniqueness of Swiss watches attracts many people. Hans understood the value of branded products well. In 1908, Hans created a new brand, naming the watches produced under his company Rolex. He got his brand name on the inside of the watches. He obtained certificates from the best research institutes in London to demonstrate the excellence of his company's watches. It was during the First World War. Carrying a pocket watch has become inconvenient for soldiers going to the battlefield. Due to this, many people in the army preferred to wear Rolex watches. But this happiness did not last long. Because of the war, the British government of the day raised the duty on luxury goods to 33%. Thus in 1919, Hans Wilford moved his company to Geneva. His search did not stop there. In 1926, Hans created the Oyster, a waterproof watch. The watch is made with a self-vending mechanism, equipped with a pin that changes the time. Hans gifted his first Oyster watch to a woman named Mercedes Clydes. In 1927, this Mercedes set a record by swimming a long pass of 32 kilometers. At that time, many people refused to believe in his achievements. So he decided to swim across the long pass again. With only 7 miles to swim to reach the target, Mercedes Clydes was rescued by the Coast Guard. At that time, Mercedes was wearing an Oyster watch. Even after he swam 21 kilometers, the watch worked perfectly. This news was published in the newspapers, and Hans Wilford's watch company became famous. Next, Hans presented Rolex watches to Lord Clistel, who made the first ascent of Mount Everest in 1933, and Malcolm Campbell, who drove the first 300 miles per hour car in 1935. In 1960, a Rolex watch was installed on the exterior of the submarine Mariana Trench. Through this, Hans Wilford made his Rolex brand known to the world. After this, to increase the number of customers, Hans introduced Tudor, a range of watches that are affordable for the upper class. Hans Wilford, who created a niche market for Rolex watches, died in 1960. Since then, the license has been transferred to the Hans Wilford Foundation, whose proceeds are used for social welfare work. After the advent of quartz watches, the market for mechanical watches collapsed. Quartz digital watches are popular in many countries including America and Japan. However, Rolex has maintained its own market due to its reputation among customers in terms of brand and art. Only 1% of watches sold worldwide are Rolex watches. At the same time, Rolex holds a 25% share of the global watch market. It is noteworthy that it takes up to a year to produce certain models of Rolex watches. With 111 years of heritage and pride, Rolex has an enduring reputation.